Welcome back to Robin's Taste, boys and girls. I hope that you're enjoying yourself, because today I'm gonna make a new movie update. Let's begin this with Wim Wenders and the State of Things, where he does criticize Hollywood in a quite genuine and well-mannered way. See, this movie tells the story of a Hollywood production that is on stall, as the producers seem to be unable to be reached, and the director is just sitting on his fingers waiting for things to happen. So this movie doesn't seem to go anywhere, and people are just sitting, talking, walking, talking, doing things and talking. It may sound like The State of Things is a pretty dull and boring film, and if you don't like the concept, well, it's not your type of production. I do like it, it has a genuine nice touch to it, and you just feel for the characters who are just forced to wait and wait and wait constantly. It's actually better than it sounds, and I like it. One of Arnold Schwarzenegger's lesser known productions happens to be known as Red Heat, where he stars against James Belushi, and they both form a cop force team trying to nag this evil doer who's dealing drugs worldwide. The story isn't particularly interesting, but the cast is doing a great job, and they are really performing well as this kind of comic relief character thing going on. However, the downside of the film is that the action isn't too interesting, and the constant close-ups whenever someone is talking can get kind of confusing and kind of dull after a while watching it. I'm not totally hating it, but it's not his best work either. It's an okay production, but it doesn't really hold up that much. I know that it was a long time ago Christmas Eve was here, but I still have to mention the movie I saw on Christmas Eve. It was Santa's Sleigh. This is a hilarious film that only lasts for around 1 hour, maybe 1 hour and 20 minutes or something so. It's also a story of Santa Claus being a strong, kind of bulky wrestler guy who kicks people in the groin and gives them a bad rebound of hilarious and cheesy dialogue. I love this movie. I think it's really funny. It's a no-brainer of a film, but it has a good cast and a surprisingly funny result. I recommend to give it a watch whenever you feel for it. The Butterfly Room is a film about this woman who lives in her own apartment and happens to have a strange butterfly room where nobody can enter beside herself. Of course there's a secret in there, and it doesn't take too long until the audience find out what's really going on. But what I do like about this performance in the film is the actual performance. The actors are tremendous and really brings life and character to this movie. Even though the film may not be that much of a content to bear through, I can totally recommend that this film has some really outstanding acting, and that is the reason why you should check it out. It's not so often that you get to see little short-grown people being the main hero of a film, especially not the title or character, but so is the case of Willow, a fantasy action comedy film that may be a little bit too long, and sometimes drawn out in both action scenes and comic reliefs, but still is pretty damn god awesome. I like this film. It's actually really entertaining and has some interesting stuff to it, some cool swordplay, and some badass action, even though the action may last too long. I still like the Willow character, and I think that Warwick Davis was great, even though he was 18 years old playing the main character, and Val Kilmer is fantastic as the hero. I haven't really been a big fan of Val Kilmer before, but this is really making me open my eyes for him. He's a talented actor, and he's doing a good performance in this film. Yeah, I like it. I also want to give you a look at the Steelbox edition of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Total Recall by Paul Verhoeven. It has some really interesting content and audio commentary by Arnold Schwarzenegger himself, which is of course supposed to be legendary because it's so hilarious. This is a booklet of a film and 2-disc editions. I have seen most of the special editions on the disc, and it was glorious. I love it. So anyways, it's a cool film for a very cheap price, and unfortunately the reason is that I've just figured out that it's, let me just put in the focus here. In case you can see it, it's a bit broken here on the edge, and that's a pain in the ass because when you open it you have to be very careful so you don't break it. That's the downside of this little thing, but it doesn't really matter. Total Recall is a cool picture, and yeah, I like to have it in my special edition. If you haven't already seen the movie, Jesus Christ, get a watch now, goddammit, now!